Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. We're looking at Psalm chapter 1. We see three things here in this psalm at least, and the first thing we see is the person who is blessed, the person who can give a blessing to others, and then the person who needs to be blessed. The psalm is divided into two sections. The first part is about the godly, and the second part of the psalm, verses 4 through 6, is about the ungodly. It's about the righteous person, and it's about the sinner. There's no in between. You're either someone who is godly, following after God, doing the things that He wants you to do, pleasing Him by faith, or you're an ungodly person. Now, interestingly, in this world today, it appears that the ungodly are the ones that prosper. They're the ones that are making the billions of dollars. They're the ones that build the big empires. They're the ones who gain seats of power and positions of power. And we look at them and we might envy them. Matter of fact, read Psalm 73 or Psalm 72 about that. And we see them and think, why in the world did I try to do right? Everything I do goes wrong. I try to live for God. I go to church. I pray. I read my Bible. And yet look at the wicked. They prosper. But no. Remember here in verse 3, the godly person who delights in the law of the Lord, meditates in His word day and night, he will be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters that brings forth his fruit in his season, and his leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper. The prosperous person is the godly person. Don't let the devil lie to you and make you envy the wicked. Matter of fact, remember Psalm 37, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be envious of the wicked. Don't do it. You're going down the wrong path. They have nothing that'll stand. Matter of fact, notice here in verse 2, we have the godly person being compared to a tree by the rivers of waters, a tree that has deep roots, a tree that bears fruit. But the ungodly are not so. If I could entitle this chat, I'd entitle it Not So. The ungodly are not so. They might appear to be, but God says not so. No, they're like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Now, so the righteous person is compared to a tree, okay? But the ungodly is compared to chaff. Remember, the chaff is that which covers the wheat. Matter of fact, it's so close to the wheat, literally, when you look at it in your hand, you think it is a part of the wheat. Remember Jesus talking about that, how He's going to separate the wheat from the chaff. And then the wheat, as you well know, especially if you go to the Middle East or you go to India like we do so often, and they winnow the wheat, and they just winnow it and they separate the wheat itself, the wheat kernel, from the chaff. And the chaff becomes the light outside, just thin part of it, and the wind blows it away. It just goes every which person. And so a godly person is alive and beautiful and fruitful and useful and enduring. But the chaff is not that way. The chaff is dead and rootless and blown about and destined for the fire. Chaff is worth nothing. And so, my friend, it just gets blown away, and what remains is put into the fire. That's what John the Baptist was talking about in Matthew chapter 3, verses 7 through 12. So, yes, my friend, the wicked of the world seem to be rich and substantial. From God's point of view, they are cheap, unsubstantial, and notice they are destined for judgment. Remember how we started this all out: two men, two ways, and two destinies. You're either a godly person on your way to eternal life in heaven, or you're an ungodly person on your way to judgment and an eternity without Jesus Christ in a terrible place called hell. And this psalm makes it very clear, and it sets the setting for the rest of the book of Psalms as we look at it over the next few weeks. Well, God bless. I trust that you will determine by God's grace that you'll be on the righteous side. You'll be the godly person rather than the sinner and the ungodly. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.